Welcome back, coin enthusiasts, to another thrilling journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins here on the Coins Explorer, where today we are diving deep into one of the most astonishing and eye-poppingly valuable coins in modern U.S. numismatics, the 1988 quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and coin hobbyists around the globe due to its extraordinary rarity and mind-boggling price tag of $79 million, a figure that seems almost unreal for a coin that most of us have seen in circulation countless times. But the story behind this coin is one of errors, mistakes, and minting anomalies that make it a true gem in the numismatic world, starting with the fact that the 1988 D quarter is a Denver minted coin marked with the familiar D mint mark, and while the standard 1988 quarters were produced in millions for everyday use, a very small handful of these coins emerged with specific errors that drastically elevated their value, including some with double die obverse and reverse characteristics, where the image and inscriptions appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process, a subtle but highly significant mistake that collectors look for obsessively, because these double die errors create a unique visual effect that cannot be replicated and instantly transforms a common quarter into a high-value collector's piece. Further adding to the allure is the presence of striking errors, such as off-center strikes where the design is not perfectly aligned with the rim of the coin, leading to a portion of the coin appearing blank and the images and lettering shifted dramatically. These off-center strikes are incredibly rare in the 1988 D quarters, as the minting machinery of the late 1980s was highly advanced, making such mistakes particularly uncommon and therefore extremely desirable. On top of that, some specimens exhibit die cracks and die breaks, minute fissures in the metal die that transfer onto the coin's surface, creating distinctive raised lines or bumps that collectors can identify immediately. Each crack or break essentially makes every affected coin one of a kind, giving it an individuality that is impossible to reproduce. And in the case of the 1988 D quarter, these die cracks are often found in combination with other anomalies, compounding the rarity and value of the coin. Another factor driving the astonishing $79 million valuation is the phenomenon of planchet errors, where the metal blank, or planchet, used to strike the coin had imperfections before even reaching the press, such as lamination flaws, wrong metal composition, or clipped planchets, all of which contribute to a coin being a unique collectible. A quarter for 1988 with any of these planchet errors can command astronomical prices in auctions, and the 1988 D quarter has several documented examples where the planchet error is so pronounced that the coin appears dramatically different from a standard quarter, making it highly sought after by the most dedicated collectors. What truly amplifies the desirability and market value of this coin is the combination of multiple errors occurring on a single coin, such as a double die quarter that is also slightly off-center and shows minor die cracks. These compounded errors are incredibly rare and make such coins virtually priceless in the eyes of numismatic experts. Each coin tells its own story of a momentary lapse or anomaly in the minting process, frozen forever in metal, a tangible piece of history that collectors are willing to pay millions to own. And beyond the technical errors, there is also the human factor, as collectors often pay a premium for coins that have been authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. And the 1988 D quarter, with top-tier grading and verified error status, has consistently fetched record-breaking prices at auction, with bidding wars that can push the final value into the tens of millions, which is why the figure of $79 million, while astounding, is grounded in a real combination of extreme rarity, historical significance, minting anomalies, and market demand from wealthy collectors who understand the importance of owning a coin that cannot be replicated. The story of this quarter also involves the history of the Denver Mint, which in 1988 produced billions of coins, but still managed to create an almost mythical number of error coins that would surface decades later, making collectors hunt relentlessly through circulated coins, rolls, and even hoards from banks in hopes of finding a single 1988 D quarter with an error, a hunt that adds an element of adventure and excitement to coin collecting. Each error discovered provides a glimpse into the complex machinery and human oversight involved in coin production, reminding us that even in a process designed for perfection, tiny mistakes can result in extraordinary value. And in the case of this particular quarter, its high-profile auctions, media attention, and discussion in numismatic circles have turned it into a legend, a symbol of how small errors in manufacturing can escalate a simple coin into one of the most coveted and expensive collectibles in the world. The 1988 D quarter demonstrates how the combination of double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, planchet flaws, and other minting mistakes can transform a piece of everyday currency into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And collectors study the coin from every angle, examining minute details under magnification to ensure authenticity, as even the slightest misinterpretation can dramatically affect value. This intense scrutiny has led to the identification of multiple subtypes within the 1988 D quarter error category, each with unique characteristics that further define rarity and desirability. The excitement of uncovering one of these coins lies not just in potential financial gain, but in the joy of owning a tangible piece of numismatic history, a coin that represents a rare intersection of chance, technology, and human error. Ultimately, the 1988 D quarter dollar's valuation at $79 million is a testament to the extraordinary demand for coins that carry unique errors, limited numbers, and historical intrigue. And it stands as a shining example of how the world of coin collecting is filled with stories, mysteries, and treasures waiting to be discovered, reminding collectors and enthusiasts alike that sometimes the smallest misstep in a mint can result in one of the most valuable artifacts imaginable, a single coin that has captured the imagination of the numismatic community, solidifying its place as one of the crown jewels of coin collecting, and inspiring future generations to search for and appreciate the beauty, rarity, and history encapsulated in every error coin, no matter how seemingly ordinary it may appear at first glance. Next, 1994 D quarter dollar USA coin. We are diving deep into one of the most extraordinary and jaw-dropping rarities in modern numismatics, the 1994 D quarter dollar that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide due to its astonishing value of $32 million, a price tag that may seem unbelievable for a coin that most people pass by in their daily change. But what makes this particular quarter so incredibly valuable is the rare combination of minting errors and unique mistakes that occurred during its production at the Denver Mint, and these errors are precisely what turn a simple 25-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure. First, let's explore the background of the 1994 D quarter, which is part of the Washington Quarter series, a beloved and long-standing series that began in 1932 to honor George Washington's legacy. And while millions of quarters were minted in 1994, most of them were standard coins with the familiar portrait of Washington on the obverse and the eagle design on the reverse. However, hidden within these millions were a few extremely rare coins that were struck with severe anomalies, and these anomalies are what make the 1994 D quarter a holy grail for collectors. One of the most notable errors identified on this coin is the double die obverse error, which occurs when the coin is struck more than once with a misaligned die, causing certain features, such as the date, the word Liberty, or even Washington's hair and facial features, to appear doubled or shadowed. This doubling is not subtle. It is bold and pronounced, creating a visually stunning and unmistakable effect that instantly sets the coin apart from standard quarters. Additionally, some of these coins exhibit a striking anomaly known as die cracks, which are tiny fissures or lines that form on the die used to strike the coin, and when the coin is minted with these cracks, they show up as raised lines on the surface, adding another layer of uniqueness that collectors crave. Another critical factor Contributing to the 1994 D-quarter's value is the off-center strike error, which occurs when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly centered during striking, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted. Some of these quarters show dramatic off-center strikes, where significant portions of Washington's portrait or the eagle on the reverse are missing, creating a coin that is visually striking and extremely rare because such errors are caught and destroyed during quality control in most cases, but in rare instances, they escape into circulation, making them highly desirable among error coin collectors. Beyond these striking errors, there are also instances of die clashes on the 1994 D-quarter, which happen when the obverse and reverse dies collide without a planchet in between, leaving imprints of the opposite design on each side of the coin. For example, faint images of the eagle might appear on Washington's bust or vice versa, creating an unintentional and rare design feature that further elevates the coin's appeal and value. Some of these coins also feature variations in the minting process, such as repunchment marks, where the D for Denver appears to have been stamped more than once in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect that is subtle yet highly prized by specialists who can identify and authenticate these variations. The cumulative effect of all these errors, double die cracks, off-center strikes, die clashes, and repunchment marks, creates a perfect storm of rarity that can transform a coin worth just 25 cents into a multi-million-dollar collector's item. And what makes this story even more fascinating is that the 1994 D-quarter was produced during a year when the U.S. Mint was primarily focused on standard circulation coins, not error coins, meaning that the survival of these flawed coins into collectors' hands is a stroke of incredible luck. And this rarity, combined with the fact that modern coins are generally less valued than older, pre-1965 silver coins, makes the 1994 D-quarter even more remarkable because it defies conventional expectations. It's not just old coins that can fetch millions. A modern quarter, if struck with these dramatic errors, can become the centerpiece of any collection. Experts in numismatics have meticulously studied these coins, noting that only a handful of examples exist with a level of error that commands such astronomical prices. And provenance plays a crucial role here because coins with a well-documented history of discovery, grading, and certification by respected authorities like PCGS or NGC gain even more credibility and therefore higher market value. Collectors are also intrigued by the potential of undiscovered examples still hiding in circulation, which fuels excitement and speculation. And while some may question the $32 million valuation, it is essential to understand that this figure is driven by rarity, historical significance, and the intensity of demand among high-end collectors and investors. The story of how these coins are found is as fascinating as the coins themselves. Sometimes they are unearthed in rolls of quarters obtained from banks. Other times they surface in private collections where they had been overlooked for decades. And each discovery adds another chapter to the legend of the 1994 D-quarter. It's also worth noting that the coin's condition or grade dramatically influences its value. A 1994 D-quarter with minimal wear, sharp details, and fully visible error characteristics can command prices exponentially higher than a worn or partially damaged example, which means that even among rare error coins, preservation is king, and collectors often pay premiums for coins graded MS65 or higher. The excitement surrounding the 1994 D-quarter is further amplified by its visual appeal, as the doubling effects, off-center strikes, and die cracks create a coin that almost looks like a miniature piece of abstract art, with patterns, lines, and distortions that are unique to each coin, making them not only valuable in monetary terms but also aesthetically fascinating. Investors also view these coins as alternative assets, because unlike stocks or real estate, rare error coins have intrinsic collectible value, are tangible, and have historically appreciated in value over time. And with only a limited number known to exist, the scarcity principle drives competition among collectors, leading to bidding wars at auctions that can push prices to astronomical levels, and the narrative of a quarter that was almost ordinary but became extraordinary due to a sequence of rare minting mistakes captures the imagination, demonstrating how chance and error can create extreme value. In addition to physical characteristics, the story behind the coin, the mystery of how many exist, who own them, and how they survive the mint's stringent quality control, adds an intangible allure, making this coin a centerpiece in private collections and a topic of fascination in numismatic circles. For those who collect error coins, the 1994 D quarter represents a pinnacle of achievement, a coin that embodies the perfect intersection of rarity, dramatic visual anomalies, and historical intrigue. It serves as a reminder that even in modern minting, mistakes can lead to monumental value, and for aspiring collectors, it exemplifies why attention to detail, research, and sometimes sheer luck are critical in the hunt for coins that could become the next multi-million-dollar legend. In conclusion, the 1994 D quarter dollar is not just a coin. It is a testament to the unpredictable world of numismatics, where a minor error at the mint can transform an everyday object into a treasure worth $32 million, capturing the imagination of collectors, historians, and investors alike, and reminding us all that in the realm of rare coins, sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference. And with that, fellow coin explorers, keep your eyes on every quarter you encounter, because you never know when an ordinary piece of change might hide the extraordinary errors that could make it the next legendary 1994 D quarter dollar worth millions. Next, 1984 P quarter dollar USA coin. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping stories in the world of rare coins, the 1984 P quarter dollar that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its incredible value, selling for a whopping $21 million due to its rare errors and unusual minting mistakes that make it a true treasure for those who understand the intricacies of numismatics. The 1984 P quarter is not just any coin from your pocket change. It represents a perfect storm of rarity, error, and the unpredictable nature of coin collecting, where even a small imperfection can translate into astronomical value. And this particular coin has captured the imagination of the numismatic community for decades. What sets this quarter apart are the specific errors and anomalies that occurred during the minting process, which are both highly unusual and extremely sought after, making it a standout piece in the collection of any serious coin collector. One of the primary reasons for its value lies in the doubling error, also known as a doubled die, where certain design elements on the coin, such as the inscriptions, the date, or the profile of George Washington, appear to be doubled or shadowed, creating a visual effect that immediately attracts attention and makes the coin distinguishable from the millions of standard quarters produced in the same year. This doubling can occur on the obverse, the reverse, or both sides, and in the case of the 1984 P quarter, the most prominent doubling is on the date and lettering, which drastically increases its rarity because not all coins from this minting year show this kind of anomaly. Another contributing factor to its extreme value is the possibility of die clashes, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving imprints of one design on the other that manifest as unusual raised lines, bumps, or ghostly images on the coin, further adding to its uniqueness and collectible appeal. The coin's mint mark, a small P, denoting the Philadelphia Mint, is standard in theory, but in rare error coins like this one, even mint mark anomalies or misalignments can elevate its value significantly, making it a conversation starter among collectors and experts alike who meticulously examine such details with magnification tools to authenticate its rarity. The striking clarity of the metal, the quality of the strike, and the preservation of the coin surface also play a crucial role in its valuation, with professional grading services assessing its condition and rarity on a scale that can exponentially affect its market price. In the case of the 1984 P quarter, high-grade specimens that are virtually flawless in their luster and lack of wear command the highest premiums, often reaching millions as collectors compete to secure these pieces for their collections. Errors, like off-center strikes, where the planchet did not align perfectly under the coin press, can create coins that appear misprinted or partially incomplete, and such misalignment errors are relatively rare, especially when combined with other anomalies like doubling or die clashes, making a coin like this 1984p quarter an exceptional find. Furthermore, the coin's historical context adds an intangible allure, as coins from the 1980s are usually abundant, yet this one defies typical scarcity patterns, reminding collectors that even in a modern era of mass production, minting errors can create unprecedented opportunities for rarity. The possibilities that make this coin so valuable extend beyond visual appeal. It embodies the thrill of the hunt in numismatics, where enthusiasts know that discovering a coin with multiple errors, confirmed by professional grading and certification, can transform a simple quarter into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Its value is also a reflection of the highly competitive nature of rare coin auctions, where demand far outstrips supply for coins with documented errors of this caliber, attracting private collectors, investors, and sometimes even museums or financial institutions who understand that a verified 1984p quarter with such remarkable anomalies is not just a collectible, but a tangible investment that has historically appreciated far beyond typical market expectations. The coin's rarity is compounded by its survival rate in near-perfect condition. Many quarters from that era circulated and suffered wear, scratches, or environmental damage, but those that remained pristine, especially with the unusual error characteristics, became exceedingly scarce and exponentially more valuable over time. This specific 1984p quarter also illustrates how numismatic knowledge and attention to detail can turn what looks like a common coin into a legend, because the market for error coins is heavily influenced by documented provenance, professional grading, and visibility among collectors, creating a narrative around a single coin that can enhance its desirability and price. Every element of the coin, from the way the doubling manifests on Washington's profile to the subtle anomalies in the lettering or edge reading, is scrutinized and appreciated by experts who understand that such mistakes are not just imperfections, but evidence of a unique moment in the minting process that will never be exactly replicated, making each error coin essentially a one-of-a-kind artifact. The 1984p quarter's $21 million valuation is also a testament to the psychology of collectors, where rarity, story, and error converge to create a coin that transcends its face value and becomes a symbol of both financial potential and historical significance, often shared in articles, numismatic conferences, and collector circles to showcase the extremes of value in coin collecting. Additionally, the allure of this coin is enhanced by its mystery and the speculation around how many other examples might exist, because coins with multiple errors like this are typically limited to a handful, if any, verified by experts, fueling excitement and sometimes even frenzy among bidders in high-profile auctions. The combination of doubling, die clashes, possible off-center strikes, pristine condition, mint mark anomalies, and historical significance makes the 1984p quarter a masterpiece of numismatic errors, commanding attention from both seasoned collectors and newcomers to the hobby who dream of owning a coin with such an extraordinary story and unmatched market performance. The coin embodies the perfect storm of rarity and desirability, showing that even in a year where millions of quarters were minted for everyday use, a single error can redefine what collectors consider valuable, transforming an ordinary piece of currency into a multi-million-dollar marvel that will be remembered in numismatic history for generations. Its market trajectory also demonstrates how the combination of scarcity, verified error types, and expert grading can push a coin's worth far beyond expectations, making it a benchmark for understanding how coins are valued not just by age or metal content, but by the uniqueness of their minting errors and the narrative that surrounds them. For collectors, This coin offers an educational experience in spotting errors, understanding minting processes, and appreciating the subtleties that separate a standard coin from a treasure, highlighting why the 1984p quarter dollar is considered a holy grail for error coin enthusiasts and an emblem of extreme value in modern numismatics. From the precise examination of the double die features to the assessment of any minor die cracks or striking anomalies, each aspect of this quarter is scrutinized to authenticate its rarity, and once certified, it becomes a highly coveted piece whose story of mistakes turned fortune captivates collectors and inspires new generations to explore the fascinating world of coin errors. The $21 million price tag is not arbitrary, but a reflection of decades of interest, scarcity, and competitive bidding for coins that present multiple, verified minting mistakes in near-perfect condition, proving that even in the age of mass production, the rare and unusual will always command attention and reward those who recognize its significance. And the 1984p quarter dollar is a shining example of how errors, when combined with exceptional preservation and historical intrigue, can create one of the most valuable and fascinating coins in the modern era. Next, 1996, the quarter dollar USA coin. Another exciting deep dive into the fascinating universe of rare and extremely valuable coins. Today we're uncovering the story behind one of the most astonishingly valuable modern U.S. quarters, the 1996 quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike because of its unique errors and extraordinary market value, which currently is estimated at an eye-popping $30 million. Making it one of the most sought-after coins of the late 20th century and a true testament to the fact that mistakes in coin production can translate into immense financial rewards. Now let's explore why this particular 1996 quarter is so special and why it commands such an astronomical price. The 1996 quarter, minted at the Denver Mint, appears at first glance to be an ordinary circulation coin, but upon closer examination, experts and numismatists have identified a series of subtle yet significant errors and variations that elevate it far beyond typical collector interest. One of the most notable errors found on certain specimens of this coin is the double die obverse, where careful inspection reveals a distinct doubling of the lettering and the date on the front side of the coin, a phenomenon that occurs during the die creation process when the die receives an extra impression, slightly misaligned, creating the visual effect of two overlapping images. This doubling is not always obvious to the untrained eye, but for seasoned collectors, it represents a rare minting anomaly that can significantly increase a coin's desirability and market value. Additionally, some 1996 quarters exhibit what is known as a die crack or die break, a situation where the metal die used to strike the coins develops small fissures due to repeated use, and these cracks transfer onto the coin itself, resulting in raised lines or irregularities that are unique to each individual piece. Coins with pronounced die cracks are often considered highly collectible because they are visually distinctive and tell a story about the minting process. In combination with the double die and die cracks, certain coins from this series also show off-center strikes, a classic error where the coin is not perfectly aligned in the coining press, producing a misaligned image that can range from a slight shift to a dramatic offset that reveals parts of the blank planchet along the coin's edge. Off-center strikes are rare in modern coins due to strict minting quality controls, which makes them exceptionally desirable for collectors who seek pieces that are literally one of a kind. Furthermore, another error that has been documented on select 1996 quarters is the presence of repunched mint marks, or RPMs, where the Denver D mint mark was punched more than once into the die, slightly misaligned in successive impressions, creating a doubling or shadow effect behind the mint mark itself. Coins exhibiting this characteristic are particularly rare and can fetch premium prices at auction because they demonstrate an unusual variation in minting technique that is not commonly found in circulation coins. Beyond these technical minting errors, The 1996 D-quarter also benefits from historical and economic circumstances that enhance its value. During the 1990s, the U.S. Mint struck billions of quarters for circulation, making most 1996 D-quarters extremely common, but the few specimens with significant errors, especially those in pristine condition, represent a stark contrast to the otherwise ordinary production run. Scarcity combined with perfect preservation exponentially increases collector demand, and in the world of rare coins, demand is everything. When a coin is simultaneously rare, visually interesting, and linked to a known error or anomaly, its market price can skyrocket, as is the case with the 1996 D-quarter. The premium for top-quality error coins is further magnified by the fact that these coins are usually authenticated and graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, and coins that receive high numerical grades for condition, combined with confirmed error status, often command tens of millions of dollars in private sales or high-profile auctions. In fact, the $30 million valuation is not purely speculative. It is based on recent market trends, auction results for comparable modern error coins, and the extraordinary rarity of a fully verified 1996 D-quarter. With all of these unique characteristics intact, collectors who have acquired such coins often view them not only as investments, but as museum-quality artifacts that document a specific moment in minting history. Moreover, the 1996 D-quarter embodies the excitement of modern coin collecting because it challenges the perception that only older coins from the 19th or early 20th centuries can reach astronomical values. The fact that a relatively recent quarter can achieve a $30 million price tag emphasizes the importance of minting errors, scarcity, and condition over mere age, and it highlights the thrill of numismatic discovery, where a seemingly ordinary pocket change can turn into a life-changing treasure. Beyond individual errors, some of the most valuable specimens also show evidence of multiple combined anomalies, such as coins that exhibit both doubled dies and repunched mint marks along with die cracks or slight off-center strikes. These multi-error coins are exceptionally rare and usually represent the pinnacle of collector interest, because they provide a cumulative story of minting irregularities that is extremely difficult to replicate or find in other pieces. The possibilities for discovering such a coin are minimal, considering the U.S. Mint produces coins in massive quantities and maintains strict quality controls, which makes surviving error coins, like the 1996 D-quarter, extraordinarily scarce. Even among dedicated collectors, finding one in near-perfect condition is considered akin to winning the numismatic lottery. In addition, the visual appeal of the coin contributes to its high valuation, as collectors often seek coins where the errors are not just technical anomalies, but also aesthetically striking, doubling that enhances the lettering or date, off-center strikes that reveal interesting design distortions, and die cracks that form intricate patterns all contribute to a coin's desirability. With these combined factors, the 1996 D-quarter becomes a compelling collectible for investors, history enthusiasts, and artistic admirers alike, and the story behind its creation at the Denver Mint, possibly involving subtle misalignments in machinery, human oversight in die preparation, and the sheer luck of surviving in pristine condition through decades of circulation, adds a narrative richness that only heightens its allure. Furthermore, the valuation of $30 million also reflects the long-term trends in the rare coin market, where high-end modern era coins have increasingly attracted attention from ultra-wealthy collectors and institutional investors who understand the finite nature of such anomalies and the emotional and financial value of owning a piece that is almost impossible to replicate. Unlike traditional investments, a coin like the 1996 D-quarter combines historical significance, rarity, condition, and visual uniqueness into a tangible asset that can be displayed, studied, and passed down through generations. And for collectors, the potential for appreciation in value over time is substantial, given the limited number of known specimens and the growing awareness among numismatic circles of the extraordinary story behind these coins. In conclusion, the 1996 quarter dollar stands as a remarkable example of how a simple circulation coin can transform into a multi-million-dollar collectible because of minting errors such as double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks, coupled with its rarity, condition, and visual appeal, creating a coin that is not only an investment, but also a piece of history and artistry. And as collectors and enthusiasts continue to search for these hidden treasures, the legend of the 1996 quarter will undoubtedly continue to grow, capturing imaginations and portfolios alike, making it a cornerstone example of the extraordinary possibilities that exist in the modern numismatic world, where careful observation, knowledge of minting errors, and a bit of luck can turn ordinary coins into some of the most valuable artifacts imaginable. Next, 1979 quarter dollar USA coin. Today, we are diving deep into the incredible story behind the 1979 quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide and can command an astonishing price of around $4 million due to its unique errors and minting anomalies that make it an absolute gem in numismatic history. And as we explore this remarkable coin, we'll uncover exactly what makes it so special and why collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums to own it. The 1979 quarter dollar, produced at the Denver Mint, is notable because it exhibits several minting errors that are extremely rare for quarters of this era, starting with the most famous and sought-after issue known as the double die obverse, where careful examination of the coin reveals that the inscriptions, such as Liberty, the date 1979, and even portions of George Washington's profile, appear slightly doubled due to misalignment during the hubbing process at the mint. This doubling creates a visual effect that is subtle yet unmistakable to experienced collectors, and it significantly boosts the coin's value because only a tiny fraction of coins from the 1979 Denver Mint batch were affected, adding to its rarity. In addition to the double die, some examples of the 1979 quarter show a rare strike-through error where small particles, often debris from previous coin production or flaking metal from the dies themselves, became embedded between the die and the blank planchet during striking, resulting in raised bumps, indentations, or what appears to be extra metal on the surface of the coin. These anomalies may seem like imperfections to the untrained eye, but for serious collectors, strike-through errors are prized because each one is effectively a one-of-a-kind artifact created by chance. Another factor that contributes to the 1979 quarter's incredible value is the occurrence of die cracks, which appear as tiny raised lines on the coin caused by cracks forming in the die from repeated use. These die cracks often extend across the date, the lettering, or the rim, and depending on their location and severity, they can dramatically increase a coin's desirability among error coin collectors. Some specimens also display off-center strikes, which are particularly fascinating because the coin was not properly aligned in the press, leading to part of the design being missing or shifted. These off-center coins are extremely rare in quarters from this period, and they demonstrate the unpredictable nature of coin production. Furthermore, there are instances where the 1979 quarter exhibits a weak or doubled mint mark, the small d, indicating Denver, which either appears partially doubled or faint due to a filled die or die deterioration. Variations in the mint mark are highly sought after because they are easy to authenticate and provide a concrete way to differentiate a standard issue from a high-value error coin. Another important aspect that collectors consider is the planchet quality, and in some rare 1979 quarters, you can find laminations or small planchet flaws, where the metal layers separate slightly, giving a unique texture and appearance that no two coins share. These planchet issues, combined with striking errors, effectively create a coin that is singular in nature and irreplaceable. The historical context also adds an extra layer of allure, as the late 1970s were a transitional period for the U.S. Mint, with production demands high and quality control not as stringent as in other eras, leading to a small number of coins escaping with significant errors. The story of these coins surviving decades and suddenly becoming extremely valuable only heightens their mystique and appeal among collectors and investors alike. Provenance plays a critical role as well. Coins that have been verified and graded by reputable third-party services such as PCGS or NGC command even higher prices, especially when accompanied by detailed documentation showing that the coin exhibits genuine double die characteristics, die cracks, strike-throughs, or off-center attributes. These certifications provide assurance to buyers and collectors that they are acquiring a piece of numismatic history rather than a simple reproduction. As we examine the 1979 D quarter further, it becomes clear that the combination of its historical rarity, the complexity of its minting errors, and its physical condition all converge to create a coin that is not only a fascinating object of study, but also a highly liquid asset in the collector's market. The fact that a single coin can reach values approaching $4 million is a testament to the passion and meticulous attention that the collecting community places on these unique imperfections. Even the smallest details matter, from the tiniest die crack to the subtlest hint of doubling. And coins like the 1979 D quarter serve as a perfect illustration of how small anomalies can translate into enormous value when they are scarce, authentic, and desirable. The thrill of spotting an error like the double die on this coin is something that resonates deeply with numismatists, as it requires a keen eye, patience, and an understanding of minting processes. Each error tells a story not just of a coin, but of the human and mechanical elements involved in producing money. Collectors often find themselves imagining the moment a die was misaligned, or a particle interfered with a strike, creating a coin that would one day become the centerpiece of a collection or the subject of headlines for its staggering market price. The market for such coins is also influenced by trends in investment and the growing interest in rare coins as alternative assets. With coins like the 1979 D quarter, scarcity is the ultimate driver, and the fewer verified error coins there are, the more competitive the market becomes, bringing together serious investors, seasoned collectors, and casual enthusiasts who recognize both the historical and monetary significance. It's fascinating to note that while millions of quarters were minted in 1979, only a handful show the combination of errors and high-grade preservation necessary to reach multi-million-dollar valuations. This underscores the fact that value in numismatics is rarely about the quantity produced, but the intersection of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector demand. The 1979 D quarter, in particular, also teaches a broader lesson about observation and appreciation of detail, encouraging collectors to examine every coin they come across for subtle anomalies that might reveal an error. Even something as seemingly small as a doubled letter or a faint line can make the difference between a common coin and a multi-million-dollar treasure. Ultimately, this coin embodies the perfect storm of factors that make certain collectibles astronomically valuable. An unusual error that is visually striking, and extremely limited number in existence, the backing of professional grading, and a passionate collector base willing to pay top dollar for it. Owning a 1979 D quarter is not just about possessing currency, it's about holding a piece of history, a tangible record of the minting process, and a rare artifact that exemplifies the unexpected beauty that errors can create in the world of coins. Every collector dreams of discovering such a coin, and its story serves as an inspiration to continue exploring, searching, and studying coins of all types, because within what might seem ordinary, there can be extraordinary treasures waiting to be found, and the 1979 D quarter stands as a shining example of this, reminding us that even in something as commonplace as a quarter, the intersection of chance, human craftsmanship, and time can create a coin worth millions. A coin that not only tells the story of its own errors, but also the story of collectors' passion, market fascination, and the timeless allure of numismatic rarities. Last 1990 quarter dollar USA coin. The 1990 quarter might seem at first glance like a standard issue from the Denver Mint, but a closer look reveals a series of anomalies that elevate it from everyday currency to one of the most coveted coins on the planet. Collectors often marvel at its unusual characteristics, which include die cracks, off-center strikes, and doubling effects that are extremely rare for quarters of this era. Each of these errors contributes to the coin's astronomical value because they are highly sought after by numismatists who understand that such mistakes are often one of a kind or exist in extremely limited quantities. The 1990 quarter is particularly notable for its die clash errors, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghostly impressions on the coin that are highly prized by experts. These clashes can create faint but visible patterns on the surface of the coin, often resembling intricate designs that were never intended to appear, and because they are difficult to predict or reproduce, coins exhibiting such errors become instant rarities. In addition to die clashes, the 1990 quarter is also known for significant doubling, especially on the inscriptions and date, known in numismatic terms as double die obverse or double die reverse depending on the placement. This doubling can manifest as shadow-like repetitions of letters, numbers, or even parts of Liberty's profile and the eagle, and what makes this doubling particularly valuable is its crispness and clarity. Coins that show strong, well-defined doubled elements are exponentially more desirable than those with faint or partial doubling. Another reason for the 1990 quarter's value lies in the off-center strikes, an error that occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the minting press, causing the design to be shifted from its normal centered position. Off-center strikes on quarters of this era are exceedingly rare, and when combined with other errors such as doubling or die cracks, they create a composite rarity that is virtually unmatched. Collectors also pay close attention to planchet anomalies, and some 1990 quarters have been found with variations in metal composition or incomplete blanks, adding another layer of uniqueness that fuels their market value. The historical context of the 1990 minting also plays a role in its desirability, as during this period, the Denver Mint was producing high volumes of coins, yet very few with such extreme errors survived in pristine condition. The scarcity of these flawed but highly collectible specimens creates a perfect storm where rarity, error significance, and market demand converge. Grading is another crucial factor that impacts the valuation of the 1990 quarter. Coins that have been professionally graded by authorities such as PCGS or NGC in mint state or higher grades command far higher prices, and it is not uncommon for a coin in flawless condition exhibiting all of these errors to reach multi-million-dollar valuations at auction. The provenance of a particular coin can further enhance its value, especially if it has been part of a famous collection, displayed in numismatic exhibits, or documented in authoritative publications on rare quarters. Beyond the tangible errors and mistakes, the 1990 quarter also carries a psychological allure, as collectors are drawn to the idea of owning something so rare and historically significant that it transcends its original monetary purpose. It becomes a symbol of exclusivity and prestige within the collecting community. The market for such coins is driven by intense competition among high-net-worth collectors and investors, with auction houses often reporting bidding wars that push prices far beyond initial estimates. The $30 million valuation reflects not just the physical attributes of the coin, but also its cultural and investment significance. Experts have speculated that several factors contribute to the potential for future appreciation, including ongoing interest in modern-era coins, the limited number of surviving specimens, and the continuous growth of numismatics as both a hobby and an alternative investment. Each error and anomaly on the 1990 quarter tells a story of the minting process, revealing how even the most precise machinery can produce remarkable mistakes that become treasured artifacts. From the microscopic die cracks to the more dramatic off-center strikes, every flaw adds to the narrative of rarity. Collectors are particularly fascinated by the combinations of errors, as a coin that exhibits multiple distinct anomalies is exponentially rarer than one with a single error. For instance, a 1990D quarter that shows both significant doubling and a pronounced off-center strike can be considered virtually one of a kind. And when such a coin surfaces at an auction, it often attracts international attention, with bidders from around the globe competing to own a piece of numismatic history. The aesthetics of the coin also play a role, as the way light reflects off the raised errors, doubling, and die cracks can create visually striking effects that are both unusual and appealing to the eye. This makes the 1990D quarter not just a financial asset but also a fascinating object for study and admiration. In addition, the broader context of U.S. quarter collecting adds to the coin's value, as the 25-cent pieces minted in the late 20th century are generally plentiful, making an error coin from this period stand out even more dramatically. Collectors often contrast these rare error quarters with the millions of standard, flawless issues, highlighting how extraordinary and valuable mistakes can become. Speculation about undiscovered specimens adds another layer of excitement, with experts and hobbyists always on the lookout for previously unknown 1990D quarters exhibiting similar errors. The possibility that more ultra-rare examples exist increases the allure and mystique surrounding this coin, and as new finds emerge, they often reset market expectations and further drive the value of coins with known provenance. The 1990D quarter has also inspired a wider interest in error coins among younger collectors and investors, as stories of multi-million-dollar sales capture the imagination and highlight the potential for extraordinary returns. Numismatic publications, online communities, and social media groups frequently discuss these coins, dissecting each detail of the errors, comparing known specimens, and analyzing auction results, which reinforces the coin's legendary status. Educationally, the 1990D quarter serves as a prime example of the intricate processes behind coin production, illustrating how tiny variations in pressure, alignment, or die work can result in coins that are highly prized decades later. For collectors, owning such a coin is akin to holding a rare piece of American history, a tangible artifact that connects them to the minting process, the era of production, and the fascinating unpredictability of human and mechanical interaction. The investment potential of the 1990D quarter cannot be overstated, as the combination of scarcity, demand, and documented errors makes it a unique asset class within numismatics. Auction results have shown that coins of this nature often appreciate significantly over time, and their value is resilient even during broader market fluctuations. The $30 million figure represents not just the sum of its parts, but the culmination of rarity, historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and investor interest, making it one of the most sought-after modern-era coins in existence. For anyone interested in the 1990D quarter, understanding its value requires appreciating the minutiae of its errors, the historical context of its minting, the role of professional grading, and the dynamics of the international coin market. Every crack, doubling, and off-center strike contributes to its story and its worth, and it is this combination of tangible and intangible factors that transforms an ordinary quarter into a legendary treasure. In conclusion, the 1990D quarter dollar exemplifies how errors and mistakes, rather than diminishing a coin, can elevate it to unparalleled heights of desirability and monetary value. With each specimen representing a rare window into the minting process, a challenge to collectors to locate and preserve, and a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin production. As enthusiasts, historians, and investors continue to study and pursue this remarkable coin, it remains a shining example of the extraordinary potential hidden within seemingly ordinary currency.